What is it, magical people? It's the Mystic here, and as of recording this video, we've officially gotten the announcement that Gambit will be added to Season 5 of Marvel Rivals as a strategist. And at first glance, his kit seems to be filled with complexity. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving a frame-by-frame breakdown of all of his abilities shown off in the trailer, so that you guys will be ready to pick up Gambit on day 1 of Season 5. So if you guys are ready to break down all of the abilities in Gambit's kit, let's get right into it. So starting off with a quick disclaimer, since this trailer is so new and Season 5 isn't even out yet, I won't have the official names of all these abilities, but this trailer alone does give us plenty of information necessary to understand what his kit is capable of. So starting off with his primary attack, like most strategist characters in the game, he has the ability to heal his allies that are hit by it and damage enemies. Also, if you pay attention to his ammo capacity, which is 21, this of course is a reference to the card game Blackjack, and with Gambit being known for fighting with his playing cards, this is incredibly on brand for him. Now, the first ability that we see in the trailer seems to be an AoE ground slam ability mapped to his right click, which makes use of his cane. This makes it seem like Gambit is going to have good offensive capabilities against dive characters, giving him more offensive options than his other strategist counterparts. The trailer shows a low health magic diving him, and then him using the ground slam as a counter ability. Plus, it also looks like he gets 2 charges of it, meaning it might actually have good burst damage potential. Taking another look at his abilities on the lower right, he seems to have 4 main abilities, with the first one being the ground slam that I mentioned, and then another ability assigned to shift, and 2 abilities marked by a heart card and a spade card. Now, what exactly those abilities do, I will get into a little bit later in the video, but taking a look at his reticle, underneath it you'll see a card meter, and then you'll also notice these square icons above each of his card abilities. It's safe to say that using these abilities respectively will cost 1 card from his resource meter. This makes me think that his playstyle will be pretty similar to that of Mantis, with the use of his card related abilities being tied to the meter, with some necessary requirement used to fill it back up. But it seems like he's going to have to do a little bit of management between each of his card abilities, and that might make for some interesting gameplay. And as for his next ability assigned to the left shift button, it looks like he's able to perform a dash attack, and fairly reminiscent of Daredevil's kit, he's able to perform a follow-up attack after the dash called Big Easy Impact. Now, the name of this ability combined with the previously mentioned ground slam makes me believe that this follow-up attack will be a similar sort of AoE ability that, depending on the context, will either damage opponents or heal allies. But as far as I can tell, I don't think the trailer actually shows what this follow-up attack looks like. There is this moment here that I think could be it, but I'm not sure for now, so we'll just have to wait and see. But now for the most interesting parts of his kit, and that's his card abilities. Mapped to the E key, there are his heart card abilities, and then to the F key, there are his spade card abilities. Now, I don't actually know if these are what these abilities are called, but that's what I'm going to call them for the sake of, common sense. The heart and the spade card abilities seem to be centered around healing and anti-heal, respectively. When either ability is activated, he's given 2 options labeled either flush or raise that have different effects depending on what card ability is activated. When his heart card ability is activated, a heart appears both above his head and his health bar, and it looks like the flush option lets him perform a chain healing ability similar to Adam Warlock. You can see in the trailer, he aims the ability at the Namor on his team, and the healing effect is chained onto Magneto and the Storm above them. And while I don't think the trailer itself actually shows off what the Raise heart card ability does, it's safe to assume it's some sort of AoE self-heal that heals allies around Gambit or cleanses them of any debuff. And again, I circle back to that moment early on in the trailer where he dashes forward and does an AoE attack that heals him and his nearby allies, but I can't say for certain it's not that follow-up attack to his dash that I mentioned earlier. So I'll just have to wait until I'm able to get my hands on him to actually find out. Also keep in mind that as of this trailer, it isn't too clear which command, flush or raise, is assigned to which ability for each respective card abilities, especially because it looks like they're inverted in each respective mode. So what I mean by this is when you use your heart card ability, it shows flush as left click and raise as the right one, but then when you activate the spade card ability, these options seem to be swapped. But from what I can tell, these sub-abilities fall into 2 distinct types, and that's either an AoE attack or a range attack that chains between allies and enemies. And I think his AoE attacks are specifically interesting because it makes me think that he'll have a lot of burst damage, which could give him some good counter dive potential, and some burst healing potential that will be good for giving the backline a little bit more sustain. As for his spade card abilities, it looks like the left click ability does a chain damage attack that applies anti-heal to the enemy hit by it, as well as surrounding enemies that are close to that one. The right click spade ability also appears to be a type of offensive AoE ability that could also apply anti-heal. I say could because it's unclear in the trailer if the ability is applying another anti-heal or if the anti-heal is being carried over from the left click ability. But it is clear that this ability is offensive, and it looks like the enemy team did take damage from it. But then finally, we have to take a look at his ultimate ability. Looking at his ult, it's clear that there is some inspiration taken from Mantis's ult, because it looks like his ult does pretty much the same thing, He's able to provide a zone that gives allies a speed and damage boost and maybe even a jump boost, while also healing them. Not only are the same buffs applied to Gambit himself, but it also travels with him, creating a mobile zone that buffs allies. Overall, it looks like Gambit is going to be played almost like a hybrid strategist duelist character, with his card abilities being used to either chain heal allies like Adam Warlock, or to apply anti-heal debuffs to his opponents like Blade. It really seems like Gambit will have an offensive mode with his Spade card ability that can be useful in assisting duelists and Vanguard secure kills, and a defensive support mode with his Heart card that is capable of group burst healing. Despite him being a strategist, many people like myself were speculating that Gambit would be a duelist, and it seems like NetEase is looking to strike a perfect balance between both classes. But whether or not Gambit is actually effective and fun to play, we will just have to wait for Season 5 to see. But with all that said, we have reached the end of today's video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button, and if you're new here and you want to help me get into the Marvel Rivals Creator Program, be sure to subscribe. As always, I've been the Mystic, and I will catch you guys in the next one.